Welcome back to another episode of A New Earth Rhythm. I'm going to be sharing something really powerful today that's going to help with your own embodiment and quantum alignment. And it's the principles from the therapeutic art of polarity. And before I get into it, I just want to talk about how this is the moment to really consciously quantum align because you are so supported by the entire universe right now to come back home into alignment with who you were born to be. That's because we are officially in period 9 in Chinese metaphysics. We entered period 9 in February of 2024. And this is a time period that lasts for the next 20 years. And it's ruled by these energetic qualities and influences of the fire element. And it is all about everything speeding up. It's quantum alignment, it's a rise in holistic health and spirituality. It's also the quantum financial system, a new iteration of the internet, a rise in AI, robotics, the quantum financial system, crypto, blockchain, etc. Everything is speeding up, including your own healing and your own alignment. So things that may have used to, taken you weeks, months, or years to really hammer home and embody, we're in this new age that you can activate and integrate something in one session, in one instance. And that's exactly what I'm going to share with you today by sharing the principles of the therapeutic art of polarity. This is not only going to massively help you with your own embodiment and alignment and coming back home to yourself, but it's something that you can incorporate into your practices, into your offerings. If you are a holistic health coach or a quantum alignment coach or an energy healer, or even like a yoga instructor or an artist, really everyone can apply this information in a really positive way to their life right now. Not to mention, you guys have heard me talk about this before, that the North Node has moved into Pisces as of January 11th, 2025. This lasts for the next 18 months, North Node Pisces, South Node Virgo. This means that the general theme and the vibe for the collective is to create a life that is in alignment with your soul on every single level. And it's all about embodying your true soul, your true spirit. It's truly all about embodiment. We are no longer getting lost in the sauce of all of these different concepts and teachings and, listening to all of these podcasts and reading so many books and never actually applying or integrating and embodying the information. We are embodying and we are activating. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys just how powerful the therapeutic art of polarity really is. Once again, I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to take you guys through a presentation so that you can really see what I am talking about because, it's really all about the elements and it's all about these etheric energy pathways that emanate from the chakra system. And I'm going to walk us through these principles so, you can, like I said, whatever's jumping out at you as like, oh, wow, this is so fascinating. This is so interesting. This is what my body is being lit up by. Trust that this is exactly what you need and in this moment of your life. And then you have the language to go off and, find more information about it on your own or reach out to me using the language that I'm going to give you now if you need more additional support or if you want to work with this specifically in our one-on-one quantum coaching. And this is definitely going to be in my online courses and all in my teacher training program. So polarity is so fascinating. I found it in 2020. It was developed by this man named Dr. Randolph Stone in the mid 1900s. Okay, he was actually born in the late 1800s and he was a chiropractor and an osteopath and a doctor. He was so immersed in Western medicine, Western sciences. But then he had, his spiritual awakening. Then he spent the remainder of his life in India learning yoga, Ayurveda, all of these other, like the Hermetic principles. And he was weaving this into his work. Polarity is a perfect synthesis of Eastern and Western medicine. This is why I was drawn to it, because everything that I am drawn to on my own spiritual path is everything that is a synthesis of Eastern and Western, such as the human design system, the gene key system, which you guys know I talk about for days. And that's why polarity jumped out at me as something that I needed to learn in 2020 as a part of laying my own foundations so that I could, weave it into every area of my teachings, of my offerings. And polarity has all these different aspects of it. There is like talk therapy, there is the actual physical body work, doing body work when someone's laying on a massage table, there is the chakra yoga aspect of it, and there's Ayurveda nutrition. And so I was a full-time student enrolled in Polarity for 2 years. I have hundreds of hours under my belt. I did work, body work one-on-one with clients, but really it was a part of my pathway, like I said, to weave these teachings into my foundation that has become a part of my quantum alignment offerings. So there's three vibratory principles in polarity therapy. There is, and these are the etheric energy pathways that emanate from the chakra system. So really there's three main pathways of energy from the chakra system. There are the long line currents, also known as the water principle. And also everything comes back to elements. It's all about the elements, right? So the long line currents of energy, they come off of your chakra system and then they weave through your fingers and through your toes. Okay. And I'll get into that in the next slide to show you guys the details of that. But so we have the long line currents, then we have the transverse currents, which is the air principle. And these currents wrap around you like a coiled snake. And this is for integration and intercommunication between your cells and your energy centers. And then we have the fire spiral, the spiral current that emanates off of your umbilical cord, off of your belly button in the front, it emanates outwards, and then off of your back, it emanates outwards as well. So these are the three main currents of energy. And by understanding these energy currents and working with them and influencing them with different exercises, movements, and intentions, you are helping to facilitate energetic breakthroughs, removing blockages, and powerful epiphanies and insights and awakenings and integrations for yourself and for your loved ones or for your clients. So let's go through these principles of polarity because, like I said, this is a part of my own foundations. I feel an urge to share this with others because it is so powerful. And it truly is, Nikola Tesla said it himself that if you want to understand the universe, you need to start thinking in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Well, that's exactly what polarity offers us. And so all life in its many forms and processes comes from a unified central source. The source is the core or the neutral essence of all life from which energy flows and to which energy must return. So if you think of God or the universe as source, as the core, everything comes from the core and it is this neutral essence. And that is also the same principles of the very, when we break down an atom, right, with a neutral core and then the electrons and the protons. So it comes back to its next principle, as above, so below. The universe is made of dynamics of these interactive energy patterns. The human being is a microcosmic mirror to the macrocosmic dynamic. What is going on within one of your cells is exactly what's going on in the entirety of the universe. What is going on in your life is exactly what is going on in the world. Okay, so your physical body is the representation of the living, breathing earth. We are the microcosm to the macrocosm. This is also why I'm so drawn to astrology, because what is unfolding in the stars above is exactly what's unfolding through your life as well. And then we have the three principles of energy flow are the three gunas: rajas, which is the positive flow; tamas, which is the negative flow; and then sattva is neutral. This goes for everything, all vibrational life. Human beings have a North Pole, South Pole, and a neutral zone. So if you're watching this presentation, you're looking at my guy right here. We're going to get into this in a little bit, but basically the North Pole is from your shoulders up That's your north pole of your body. Then from your shoulders down to your pelvic region, that's the neutral zone. And then from your hips down is the south pole. And it's called polarity because we are working with these different poles of the body, different poles within each section of the body, and creating these pathways of energy. If I place my hand, which is a circuit of a conductor of energy, right? Our hands are conductors of energy. If I'm placing one hand on my north pole on my head and the other hand down on my womb, my south pole, right? This is creating a pole of energy. We're creating a new circuit of energy from intercommunication within the poles. This is why it's called polarity, because we're balancing the different poles within the body. And energy flows over the three conductors of the body: the nervous system, the circulation, and lymph and urine systems. The etheric energy body, which emanates from the chakra system, has three pathways of energy. This is what we just covered in the previous slide. These are the east-west transverse currents, the spiral currents, and the north-south vertical currents, the ones that I just showed you. Let's go back here. See, we have the north-south, which is the long lines. East-west is the transverse currents. And then we have the spiral currents. And there are energy blockages where there is pain, stress, depletion, or disease. So any physical symptom that you are experiencing, any illness or disease, chronic illness, or emotional, mental illness or distress, according to polarity and my own beliefs, this is due to a energy blockage. Either that energy center is hyperactive, or it's underactive, or it is completely blocked. The goal is to open up our wheels of energy so that they are free flowing, that we remove what is no longer ours, what is no longer serving us, to come back home into alignment with who you were born to be. Okay. And human beings are electromagnetic in nature, and everything is magnetism. And to show you even further how polarity breaks down everything into all areas of our physiology as well within our chakra system, we see that the elements are related to these different functions within the body. So the fire element represents the brain and the nervous system. The neck or the throat chakra is the etheric neutral area for reflexes. So this is all about your joints, and your reflexes within the body are related to the ether element. The air element represents respiratory and the circulatory system. The earth element represents the digestive system, assimilation, and elimination. And the water element represents the urinary, gastrointestinal system. Okay, so yes, also elimination. And you can see my guy here, how these are all connected, and it creates a sacred geometrical pattern. So that's another aspect of polarity healing, is creating these sacred geometrical patterns within the body. So putting your hands on certain places of the body to create like a star or a triangle to facilitate different movements of energy. And this right here, as you guys can see, this is the Western natal chart, right? With all of the different zodiac signs present, and how each sign is related to a different part of the body. So let's just go through this if you're not familiar with this. It's absolutely fascinating. We'll start with Aquarius, which is air, that rules over the ankles. And then we have Virgo, which is the knees, or sorry, this is Capricorn. Which way am I going? And then we have, why am I blanking right now? Okay, then we have the earth element, which is the knees. Then we have, Sagittarius, which is the thighs, that's fire. Then we have Scorpio, which is water, and this is our regenerative organs, or our sexual organs. Then we have Libra, which is air, that's our kidneys. And then we have, this is where Virgo is, and this is our bowels, that's earth. And then we have Leo, which is fire, and that's the solar plexus or the gut. And then we have Cancer, which is water, that is the breast or chest. And then we have Gemini, which is shoulders, and that's air. Next is Taurus, which rules over our neck, that's earth. And then here we have Aries, which is the head, and that's fire. Pisces is water that rules over our feet. And then, yeah, we have Aquarius, air. And the one that I missed earlier was Capricorn, which rules over our knees. So every zodiac sign is related to a different element, which is related to a different part of the body. And this is so important with polarity therapy because if you're having some sort of mental or emotional or spiritual issue in your life, you want to relate it to the principle or the archetype or the energy that it corresponds to the physical body. So that's what polarity is breaking down for us. It's showing you how mental, emotional, spiritual relates to different areas of the physical body. So then by you paying attention to these physical areas on the body, you are helping to facilitate movement of that stuck energy. It is so beautiful. It's so fascinating. And this is a chart taken from Dr. Randolph Stone's personal notes, where he shows you how this breaks down even further into these different ovals of the body, so working with a specific oval, the head oval, the chest oval. Again, it just helps with more continuous energy flow through the centers. And as you dive into polarity, or if you feel drawn to study this or become a student of this and practitioner of this, I mean, every single day you're going to be so lit up by this information because it's so just like inherent, and you can feel in your whole body that this is true, that Dr. Randolph Stone was so before his time with weaving together and synthesizing all of these different ancient teachings with modern sciences and with modern healthcare. It's truly phenomenal. And so let's get back to, I mentioned before that those long lines of energy that come off of your fingers and your toes, they correspond to the different elements. So you'll see that the thumb is the ether element, the pointer is the air element, that's the heart chakra. Then the middle finger is fire, that's the solar plexus. Ring finger is water, that is the sacral. And then your pinky fingers and toes are the earth element, and that's the root chakra. And so, this water principle, as we work with these long line currents, anytime I'm working with a client, whether that's in person, I'm going to be doing this for them, or if it's over Zoom, I'm just directing them to do it themselves. First, I want to wake up those long line currents. So, there's a point in the middle of the hand called the Lao Gung point. And just by awakening that and massaging that, you're starting to awaken all of these long line currents of energy because we want to get everything active and online, right? Because this is life force energy that we are activating, the life breath flowing with the elements up and down, in and through all tissues, establishes gravity balance from the center to the circumference. So, the first thing you want to be doing when coming back into physical alignment is working with these long line currents because it is related to every single chakra in the body, all of your different energy centers and elements within the body. And then next, like I said, are these transverse currents. These are for intercommunication and intercommunication and integration between cells and between your energy centers. So there's a really powerful exercise to activate these transverse currents. And this is something that I lead my clients through in our one-on-one guided meditation activations. It's called the Cook's Hookup. I was going to put in a picture of it, but I forgot. But really, you're just going to direct yourself or your client to lay down on their mat or on a couch or on a bed, whatever, crossing one ankle over the other. Then they're going to cross their arms across their chest, putting their hands underneath their armpits. And then their tongue is on the roof of their mouth. So by crossing that, almost like a mummy wrap, like a mummy pose, that is activating these transverse currents that wrap around you like a coiled snake or like as if you're being swaddled. And that is really powerful for integration and intercommunication and calming the nervous system. This is one of the most powerful ways to calm the nervous system, to regulate any emotional or mental distress. So this is something so powerful to keep in your toolbox for yourself and for others, especially if you have a really powerful like epiphany or breakthrough. The moment you have that, go right into this cooked hookup pose to help integrate and solidify that breakthrough. Then we have our fire spiral current, which emanates from the solar plexus, from the belly button. It's a spiral that goes out in front of you and that goes out behind you. And you're going to activate this by activating the fire element within the body. And we'll get into that in a moment here. So each element is a part of what's called like the triune. Okay. So as you can see here on this graph, if we're looking at the fire element on this graph, right? We have here right in top on the middle, in the middle is Aries. And then you follow the triangle down to the other fire element, which is Sagittarius. And then you follow it across to the other fire element, which is Leo, which is the solar plexus. So by working with these areas of the body, it's called a triad. The head, the thighs, and the solar plexus make up the triangle, so the triad of the fire element. So, doing exercises with these parts of the body begin to activate and awaken the fire element within the body, which is all about your drive, inspired action, spirituality, purpose, freedom, acceleration, okay, purifying, transformation. And by activating these parts of the body, you're really going to help facilitate that sort of work or that sort of healing within yourself if that's what's needed, or within your client if that's what the session is calling for. And so by working with these parts of the body, by working, specifically drawing your intention and your focus and your physical hands to these parts of your body and awakening these parts of your body, you are moving these energy blockages for that element. So the first one is the ether, okay? As you can see here, there is no ether on our zodiac wheel. It is the universe that holds all of the stars. It is the container. It's the firmament. It is the cell wall. It's the ether element, which holds all of it. It's the mother of all of the elements. And therefore, it doesn't have a specific place within the body. It is the spaces within the body. It's the joints. Okay. So by working with your joints, you create space within the body to facilitate more energy flow. So if I'm working for myself, if I want to activate my throat chakra, if I want to have more space and expansiveness and tranquility and peace and trust in the divine timing of the universe, if I want to take inspired creative action, if I want to manifest, I'm going to focus on my joints within my body. So during a session, I'm going to start at my feet. I'm going to roll my toes, my ankles, all of my hip joints, my knee joints, my elbows, my hinges, my wrists, so bringing attention to the joints in your body is what's going to help facilitate this. This is a physical way to embody this. And of course, there's tons of other ways to activate this as well, like through herbs. There's certain herbs and foods that correspond to the ether element. So I write all about this in my book, which we'll get into later. But today we're talking about these physical ways in your physical body to activate these elements to help with embodiment, embodying radiance. Okay, so now here we see the air element. It is related to the shoulders. That's the North Pole is the shoulders. And then our kidneys is our neutral zone. And then our ankles are the South Pole zone. These are all related to the air element. So by working with these areas, shoulders, kidneys, ankles, drawing my attention to them, doing exercises that correspond to these areas, touching these areas, I am facilitating movement of the air element. And this is also addressing cardiovascular respiratory systems, emphasizing movement and flexibility. And so if there's like a mental, emotional, spiritual thing going on in my life where I feel like I'm having mental blocks, my mental health is really poor, then that is something that I want to focus on is this air element. If I'm having a hard time making decisions or finding clarity, then it's going to come back to this air element. Okay. So now let's get into the fire element like we just covered. It's head, thighs, and solar plexus. And this is engaging with the digestive system, the liver, pancreas, gallbladder to stimulate metabolic processes. And I want to awaken these energy centers and I want to activate that fire spiral. Water element is the feet, the sacrum, and then the hips. So and the breasts. Okay. So these are all parts of the body that I'm going to activate. So if I need to work with, and this is balancing lymphatic and endocrine systems, focusing on fluid balance and emotional regulation. So if I'm having an emotional distress or an emotional problem or issues within my relationships, perhaps I have watery boundaries, I'm over giving, I'm depleting myself, I'm trying to heal sexual trauma or whatever it may be that's related to the womb space, the reproductive organs, to emotions, to relationships for myself or for my clients. This is the water element that's presenting itself. Okay. And, or if I'm like, or it's like related to emotional instability, being overly emotional, out of control with your emotions, unable to find that emotional peace and clarity, right? You want to bring your attention to these parts of the body that are related to the water element, bringing your physical hands, conductors of energy, to these places of the body, doing exercises with these places of the body. And like I said, in my book, I talk about different foods and herbs you can also eat and bring into your world to help balance this as well. And now the earth element is neck, knees, and the bowels. And this is supporting the body's structure and elimination process, including also the colon, and it's the skin. So the skin, this is a part of the earth element as well. There's so much that I could say about this. It was so hard to just put like a few sentences into these slides and figure out exactly how I wanted to present polarity to you guys, if this is the first time you're hearing about it, because this is so in depth. There's so much that I could talk about. It is so juicy. Like I said, I was a student of it for 2 full years, like enrolled full time. And there's just so much more I could get into, but I'm really just trying to lay our foundations for this today. So we're just going to continue to focus on the triads. So by bringing your attention to your neck, your neck supports your head. It's all about support, right? It's all about structure. So it's your neck. Then it's your knees. Your knees support your upper part of your body, right? And then it's your bowels. Your bowels support your elimination processes. It's all about what is supporting you, right? By bringing our attention to these areas, bringing our hands, our focused intentions, we are going to help facilitate the earth element, which is all about feeling safe, secure, able to build something in the physical world and lay a strong foundation for yourself and feel like you can claim mother earth as she claims you, like you feel at home within your own body. You actually feel your body, you're embodied. I can't tell you, for years when I was out of alignment, I was actually not in my body. I spent most of my time in my head. Like I could not feel my body. I used to brag about having such a high pain tolerance because I was so out of my body. I had body dysmorphia because I couldn't actually see my body because I wasn't home in my body. So if you feel like you have a client who is struggling with body image issues, eating disorders, feeling like if they have money problems, if they have a hard time holding down a job, if they have a hard time, if they don't have a home, like if they're always jumping from place to place, if they don't have a solid place that they call home, if they don't feel home within their own body, if they can't build a sustainable future, if they don't have long-term goals, if they have a hard time holding on to money, holding on to relationships, holding on to things in the physical world, this is an indication that their earth element is out of balance. And first, they need to drop their grounding cord, make sure that they even have a grounding cord, try to help them facilitate this grounding cord, help them come back home into their body by first directing them to feel their entire body, tap your entire body, wake up your whole body, smack your body, come back home to your body, right? Then help them bring attention to the areas of the earth triad, their neck. So I'm going to have them give themselves a neck massage. Then I'm going to have them give themselves a colon massage and help them envision what their internal organs look like and how they're supporting their body and how their body's working so hard for them to eliminate. So to keep things running smoothly, to help them absorb nutrients, and then to help them eliminate the waste, right? I'm going to help them visualize and show them on their physical body where their organs are so that they can become embodied again. Then I'm going to have them rub their knees and start to hinge at their knees and bounce up and down to awaken the earth element. Then I'm going to have them stomp their feet so that they can stomp and feel at home on earth. Then I'm going to have them tiptoe lightly on the earth so that they can feel that they are, light, a part of the earth. Then I'm going to direct them to take off their shoes and their socks and to go outside and feel the physical earth, put their hands and their feet on the physical earth, put their forehead on the physical earth. Okay. So all of these like emotional, spiritual, mental indications when you're having one-on-ones with your clients, with your loved ones, it's going to give you like an intuitive hit about which element is out of alignment or which element needs more focus. And then you're going to go direct them or show them how to physically move to the parts of the body that are going to awaken and activate this energy. This is just like the first step when it comes to clearing blockages and awakening the true potential power of each energy center. And this is all a part of the involutionary process of energy and the evolutionary process of energy. So I love this photo so much. Do you see this one on the left of this baby in the womb? And the way that it's in the womb, it's showing you that the womb is surrounded by the Western natal chart of all of the planets, right? So it's like when you're born, you're like, boom, you're dropping in, and all of the planets are impacting you and affecting you, but it's affecting you and impacting your growth within the womb, within the vortex of the womb. And you'll see that it's showing you this imagery of like how the planets are actually shaping these different parts of your body when the baby is all tightly, um, pulled into itself. And that's the evolutionary process of energy, is how source is becoming embodied. God is becoming embodied through you, through the planets, which represent the different elements, which represent the different parts of your body. Okay, so it's like energy descends through source. It descends through the crown. This is universal Christ consciousness. Through the third eye, this is intuition, powerful visions, and knowing. And then it breaks off into physical form at the throat, at the ether element, which is the mother of all the elements. This is where our perceived separation from source comes in. This is where that tabula rasa comes in. When you're born with a blank slate. Like you don't remember that you are connected to unity, Christ consciousness, that you are one. You don't remember your life before you were born, right? At least most of us don't, because there is this perceived separation at the ether element, because now we come into the world of form, the elemental world, which is made up within you. And then you go about your life, you go about your hero's journey. We get conditioned from our family, from society, from the media machine, from the monotonous education system. Also, I am still sick. You can hear it in my voice. It's driving me crazy, but the show goes on, as I've been saying the last few days. Anyway, I just wanted to acknowledge that because I sound so nasally. But anyway, so like we're going about our life, our hero's journey, and we're going down all, our life is going to take us to all these different experiences that are shaping us for who we are. But then we're probably going to stray so far out of alignment, out of our true path. But then something happens that smacks you back into alignment, a spiritual awakening, something dramatic, something drastic, a blast of illumination, a tower moment, like a dark night of the soul. Something's going to happen that's going to come in like a lightning crack and shake you back into alignment. And then you're going to begin the journey back home to yourself. And then this is the image of evolution. It's when you're going back through the elements, through the, through the throat and the heart and the solar plexus and the sacral and the root. And you're going to turn those shadows into the virtues, into the gifts, whatever that means for you. You're going to find new ways to live in alignment, right? So I'm going to quickly go through the shadows and the virtues of each one because it's so beautiful. It's so powerful. So like I said, we have this perceived separation from source at the throat chakra. And this is the shadow of the ego, of pride. It's where the ego sees itself as the creator of their reality. And it's the ego that needs to express itself to know itself. The ego is just the embodiment of your misalignment and of your shadows, thinking that, if you're separated from God at that point, that you think that just you are God, right? And then we're going to turn that into the virtue, into the gift of humility, knowing that you are a fractal of God, that you are the embodiment, the incarnation of God, but that God is working through you, that you are a vessel of God to work through you. And it is not my will, it is thy will. And glory be to God, not to your ego self. You quieted your ego self. You put your ego self on the back burner. You accepted that you don't know everything, but that you are going to be a clear, open vessel to allow source to work through you to get light and divinity into the world. Glory be to God. This is humility. Okay. And now at our heart, we have the air element, right? And the shadow is I can never have what I want. It's like when the ego is pushing and meeting resistance, and then a lack of an awareness of what is missing in your life becomes apparent, becomes prevalent. And this is where disillusion, depression, feeling like you can never have what you want, you can never have enough. You're always aware of what is lacking, and there is a lack of gratitude that is running the show. But then you turn that into the gift of appreciating the process of life, bringing in this level of compassion and love for everyone and everything, loving the process, trusting the process, bringing in this level of compassion, empathy, and inner knowing, trust, and peace. And this level of patience allows you to not rush anymore, not rush the process, but allow your story to unfold and trust the hidden higher purpose within all. And then at our solar plexus, this is the fire element. The shadow is being angry at yourself because your ego has pushed and met so much resistance. And then you feel stuck, angry, frustrated at yourself and at other people. And you feel so cynical and furious at the state of the world, and you see yourself as this victim, like, I can't fix my life, I can't do anything, the world is effed up, how am I supposed to do anything anyway? It's this anger, it's this fury, and feeling like you are not in control of making a change in your life. It is the ultimate victim, feeling like you're a victim to your circumstances, feeling like you're a victim in this messed up world. And you're seeing it like as if it's not your problem, as if it's not your fault, right? And then you're going to turn that into the gift, transmute that into the gift of forgiveness, seeing that the decisions that you have made and the perspective that you had when you were younger, it was just a result of your misalignment. And so you forgive yourself for the decisions that you made out of alignment when you were younger, and you forgive others, and you take full responsibility for changing your life and for your happiness. And you begin to take inspired creative action. And this is a powerful stage of transformation. It's forgiveness of yourself and forgiving others, and moving from victim into freedom, knowing that you actually do hold the power. And now you have strength to make a change. And then at our sacral center, this is where the ego feels so stuck and limited and angry and shackled and disillusioned that they turn to satisfying the senses. And so distraction and addiction reigns in all forms, whether this be to food, sex, sleep, numbing out, distraction, scrolling, addictions in all forms, video games, whatever the vice takes control. The sexual organs take over. This is where people are addicted to porn. They're sex addicts. They release their seed every single day. They're squandering their potent, powerful, creative life force energy every single day, and they are trapping themselves in these lower chakras. Okay, but then that transmutes into the gift of, so we go from the shadow of lust into the gift of continence or self-restraint. This is powerful self-discipline. This is making choices that support the proper nurturing of the mind, body, and spirit over anything. It's bringing in this self-love and self-discipline. And then at the root chakra, this is where we see this fear. It's like the ego is trapped within their limited patterns and choices and they are unable to make a move or rewire because they find comfort in the known. Whatever is known, even though it brings so much pain to them, being stuck in a limitation, being stuck in the life you don't want is painful, but it is what is known. So the ego holds on to what they think they have created. They hold on to what they are attached to, what is known, and that prevents change. Okay, so they're just hardwiring themselves in their own cage. But then they transmute that into courage to take a step outside of their pseudo comfort zone, courage to do something new. They change the way that they are thinking, they change their perceptions, they start to change, doing something new every single day that they have never done before, making choices that they have never done to rewire their reality and take a massive leap of faith. This is called surrender. This is called faith. And this is ultimate trust in the unknown that is unfolding. And this is ultimate courage. It's the courage to break free. It's the courage to release what is known. It's ultimate surrender. Okay, so this is the story of involution and the story of evolution. And this is all unfolding within our elements, within our chakras, right? So again, when I'm working with someone, I'm listening to what they're telling me about what's going on in their world, and I'm trusting my intuitive hits to guide me into which areas of their body need the most attention, which chakras need the most attention. And obviously, they're all interconnected. There is all of these are interconnected. There is really no just like, okay, we're only going to focus on the earth element. It's like whatever story is unfolding, it's weaving throughout all of the different elements, but I'm just using this as like a guide to know where to begin first, right? And I'm just showing you these different etheric energy pathways and how it relates to sacred geometry. And Dr. Randolph Stone is just so cool. He even has in his personal notes a picture of the pyramid of Egypt and showing how the pyramid of Egypt and the king's chamber is actually an embodiment of all of these principles that he is talking about now. So he makes these connections to all of these ancient sites, which if you know me, you know that this is what I'm really lit up by. Everything is everything. Okay. Everything is everything. And here's another really beautiful diagram showing you the different areas of the body. So it's polarity, right? So I'm showing you the different poles. This even corresponds to the hands, like working different parts of the body. You're going to work in different parts of the hands, correspond to every different part of the body, the feet. So this is like reflexology. And he incorporates all of this into his work in polarity. So I'm kind of just proving like how legit it is. It's like every amazing like modality is woven into polarity. It's phenomenal. And here is the pentagram, the 5-pointed star. It's another amazing diagram showing you how it's just related to every part of the body. And this even corresponds to the Merkaba, which you guys hear me talk about a lot. The Merkaba is a light body vehicle which emanates from us. I believe it comes online when we're living in alignment with our personal sacred geometry. And this is what I mean by when I say your personal sacred geometry. When you're living in alignment and you remove your energy blockages, you can think of yourself as a star. But think about your star as if you're missing, like, if I took an eraser and I erased off this corner of the star, it's not sacred geometry anymore. It's broken, right? And that's kind of like a representation of when you're living out of alignment is the it's breaking off parts of your own pattern, parts of your own puzzle. And so when you come back home into alignment through different tools like polarity energy work, chakra yoga, human design, the gene keys, you're just completing the patterns of your own personal sacred geometry. And then once you do that, it's like, boom, you open up a cryptext. It's like your own secret code. Then you open up a cryptext and then your Merkaba comes online, which is the mind. It's a sacred chariot that's bringing you through time and space. This is a powerful tool for quantum healing, for quantum jumping, for traveling between different dimensions, and for ultimate manifestation. And I'll do a whole different episode on that, but that's a part of my work if you work with me one-on-one. is I will help you activate your Merkaba and program your Merkaba. You can program your Merkaba to bring you everything that's in alignment with your highest good, literally to make you invisible to those that would wish to harm you. You can program your Merkaba to divert all harmful EMF, radiation, pollutions, and 5D away from you. It's phenomenal. We'll get into that another time. I digress. Okay, so now like I said, completing the patterns of your own personal sacred geometry, it activates the codes of 369. Like Nikola Tesla said, 369 is the code to the entire universe. And we're thinking about everything in terms of vibration, frequency, and energy. And this also relates to human design. Human design is also completing the patterns of your own personal sacred geometry. Check out my episodes on human design. I write all about this in the 2 books that I have published: Vitalize, The Chakras of the Earth, End of You. This is like a guidebook. This is everything. This is everything woven into one. It is an initiation. So when you read this book, you're going to be initiated into these higher wisdom teachings. It's an exploration. You can go ahead and explore all of these different energy centers. I dive into all of them and I show you how to I talk about the triads, parts of the body, plus exercises, plus yoga, plus mantras, and the different foods that correspond, the different herbs that correspond to each element. So you can go ahead and explore all different ways to activate this energy within and to embody this energy within. So it's an exploration and it's a companion because it's also, I weave in the physical locations on the earth that are the vortexes where the ley lines intersect. Because, like I said, as above, so below, your body is the earth. Okay. And earth has chakras just as you do. And these are the places on the map that are where multiple different ley lines intersect, multiple different vortexes that create these powerful pools of energy. And when you go to these locations, you are activating the energy at these locations while they are activating you as well. And that is my baby. So we are going to take a pause. If I could figure out how to do it, pause. Hi from the above. Can you say hi? Just woke up. Just woke up. So that was pretty much the end of this episode anyway, talking about the power of understanding the principles of polarity therapy. I'm telling y'all, this is it. This is where it's at. I've never been drawn to Reiki or any other sort of energy healing modalities. Polarity is the one. So if you're drawn to this, definitely look into it, and you can reach out if you'd like a polarity session if you want to see what it's all about. I do it over Zoom. It's just as powerful as it is in person. So check it out. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being devoted to living your best life, living in alignment, and unleashing your gifts onto the world. And we are sending you so much love. Can you wave? Can you wave? Bye. That is all. Peace out.